Welcome, everybody, to the second hour of Mind Shifters Radio. And today is Monday, August the 18th, 2025. Michael and I got home last night about 10:45, I guess. And it was about midnight by the time we had to bring in the food items and things like that. So it was a 12-hour drive from Florida to Virginia. So we were a little bit tired this morning, but Michael's been out in the garden already trying to harvest what took place while we were gone. And we don't have babies today. We get them again tomorrow. So anyway, we welcome you to the show. Terry, looks like you're out and about.
Yes, I'm out here on the old job site, but I wanted to dial in for sure. And
Awesome. Well, Michael should be dialing in just a second.
did you lose me there?
Yeah, I did for just
a
a second.
yeah. All right. I'm glad y'all got back safe. That is a nice little drive.
Yeah, it is. It's we made a stop in Spartanburg. That's about Sunday. Costco closes at 6, and so if we had waited and got to the one that was closer to us, they would have already been closed. So we drove from Florida to Spartanburg and made our Costco stop, and then came on in. But other than stopping for gas, I mean, we just trucked right on through.
He
Welcome,
just trucked
Michael.
right on through. She
Yeah, I
just
drove.
trucked right on through. He drove the whole way.
Yeah. What is y'all's favorite thing to buy at Costco?
Organic frozen
organic
fruit.
fruit. Can't get it anywhere else here.
Okay, we got one in Greensboro, but I just never go there. Yeah. They
Yeah,
have
they've
it at
got a
Walmart.
pretty. Yeah, we've got a Sam's here, and they have some frozen fruit, but they never carry organic. And BJ's actually is another warehouse store, and Costco both have a wide variety of organic foods all around, but in particular the frozen fruit.
Yeah.
So
I bought a membership. It was like $80 last time. Is that about what it is now? It's done expired.
I think so, but they also give you a guarantee that if you don't save enough on whatever their kickback is, that they'll refund that amount of your membership too. It's pretty like you can't really lose with them. I think they're a pretty good company.
Okay. Well, that sounds great.
Looks like you're out in nature, Terry.
I'm over at this big church. These people inherited this church. Somebody gave it to them. Must be a multi-million-dollar church, and I got like 12 acres of land. It's a black community here, and they hired me to put up some fencing for them. So I'm over here piddling around.
Ah, cool.
Yep. But I didn't want to miss the call, so I was just kind of getting ready while you guys were getting ready.
Cool. Well, glad you're here. You actually missed a great session yesterday when Jeannie gets the video out. You'll have to watch yesterday's session. We did a worksheet with a brand new person, and it was awesome. The worksheet came out of just a simple offhanded comment that he made. He's thinking about he volunteered. And then he just made a simple comment, and he was like, "Well, I don't know what to do a workshop." And I said, "Well, how about your comment?" And it was his basic power person dynamic. Just I mean, our words are always telling us what we need to deal with. So it's a really good example. Susan did an awesome job of laying out the work from another perspective, complementary. So building more brain cells for everybody, and then walked this brand new young man. He had not had anything to do with the work. A friend of his is very involved and invited him in, and he just registered a week or so ago for the codependence intensive. So
it was cool. In the codependence class?
He is in it. Yeah.
Oh, what was his name?
David.
Okay. Well, it's and one of the reasons I wasn't in the class, I was in another class, and I'm trying to get some notes and stuff from it because what unfolded was just a powerful and beautiful experience of early childhood memory, and the way that it was facilitated was just unbelievable. So
well, that's
I'm gonna
cool.
be
That's
putting
exactly
together
what
a
we
little
did.
something to
So,
share that with you.
yeah, if
Yeah,
there's
it
any
was
way
just
to get the
great.
notes or to hear it, I'd love to connect with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited because there was just a way that was presented to just really, really move forward. I'll share it with you when we're not on the show. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Yep.
I heard from Dan over the last few days too, and he's in Peru, and he went to a constellation workshop,
Oh,
and
God.
he sent me a text. Just over the last few days, we've been chatting a little bit. His next layer is up. He sent me. I don't know if he's communicated with you about it, but 4 or 5 days ago, he sent me a text saying he had just completed his 5,000th worksheet. So,
Yes. Well,
so nice work, Terry. We've been bringing him into it and coddling him and supporting him, and he's just rocking on with his work.
that's a great milestone, and he and I have been playing a serious game of phone tag. So I'll redouble my efforts now. What's he doing in Peru? A constellation?
Well, it sounds like he has a young lady he's interested in Peru, and went down to see her, and I guess through him, she invited him into the this constellation workshop, and
Okay, well, that's cool. I can't wait to hear about that.
Another family dynamic approach. So
Yeah,
it's coming up everywhere, coming up roses.
it is. It is. It's just good stuff. Good stuff.
Cool. So anyone else, any thoughts? Susan, welcome. Susan Bingham, Susan B, Susan F. Tim Hayes, welcome. Good sir.
Hope your trip went
Cam?
well, Tim.
So anyone have any thoughts before we jump into what we're going to cover today?
I'll chat for a minute.
Go for it, Susan.
So I sent you a text this morning or last night, I think, about, and I would just say this for everyone after I facilitated the group. I'm in a big process right now of healing the next layer, which is amazing. And I came across a movie, which, oh my gosh, I sent you the name. Have you seen that movie?
A long time ago, but I put it on my list. Yes.
Okay. Oh my gosh. And so God is Not Dead is the name of the movie. And I think it came out in 2018, and I don't remember who the characters are, but I'm not so big with the names of the actors. But just so fitting for the unfolding of truth and how each of us gets to be sparks of God in this world. So I just wanted to offer that to everybody. Again, the name of the movie is God is Not Dead. It came out in 2018. Very profound, lots of tears through it. I didn't do worksheets. I could have had a whole bunch of worksheets through it. I've been doing a lot of worksheets today, though, and last night. So I just wanted to offer that.
Awesome. Anyone else anything to share? Thoughts, questions, answers, ideas? Well, I'm going to just share some of the result. Last week was a powerful week for me. We talked about, or we went through and did that session on Romans 12:6, where two words.
Hebrews
12:6.
Or Hebrews. I did keep thinking Romans, but Hebrews, yes. And how two words have just
Maybe
totally
you have
turned.
to look at Romans 12:6. That's why it
Maybe I should be taking a look at 12. Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Good thought. Thank you. Yeah. So the impact of that, and then moving into the Lord's Prayer, and as I, did the Lord's Prayer, it opened another, or what they call, I want to be clear, it's not a prayer, it's an instruction on how to align yourself and orient yourself to be the receptive space or capture the presence of love and bring it into the world. And when I completed that, the next morning I was doing my morning breathing session. And I've worked with the Aramaic idea of Ruka de Kudsha for 50 years. Been working with that. And always understood it as feminine elemental force who undoes the effects of ours and teaches us the truth. That's what I had learned. And that's how the words were translated from the Aramaic by the translators who worked on the Kabur's manuscript and the result of all of that. But what I got was more of an experiential definition as I was breathing, recognizing that Ruka Dakucha literally is the breath. As I was breathing, I don't even remember what the issues were, but there were a couple of, kind of minor issues that sort of peeled away. But in them peeling away, I realized that the language of that definition, who teaches us the truth, as though the truth could possibly be taught, was kind of ludicrous. And realize, it's a construct of our minds, of our human, our carbon-based memory system of being taught. But what became experientially apparent to me in that definition was that it is she who undoes the effects of our errors, which makes the truth apparent. It's not something we're taught. It's all of a sudden we come in direct contact with truth. When we're willing to yield up the things that we've been committed to, that we've called truth, things like, you made me mad, you hurt me, they upset me, they disturbed me, when we make up lies and call them the truth, we live in blockage of truth. And turning it over to Ruka, allowing that, literally, that breath to reach into the deepest crevices of our energy system and unwind what doesn't belong. Wherever there's something that doesn't belong and it is dissolved by the breath, the truth of whatever that is simply makes itself apparent. Now, that might not be much meaning for anybody else, but for me, it was like a big shift in understanding Ruka Dakucha, that idea from the Aramaic, and the nature of truth when we allow ourselves to touch into it. So I don't know how that impacts anybody, but I'd love to hear if that says anything in particular to anyone.
I think it aligns just even with last night doing the work, like how truth just reveals herself as we open and get more clear. It's just ever present, right? It's ever present love.
Yeah.
And the awareness expands clearer and clearer. And we go back and read something and it's like, oh my God, there's a light bulb goes on. So yeah, thanks for that.
And that's the reveal that happens, I think, when we're willing to let go of our lies. And as opposed to somebody's going to teach it to us. Truth just makes itself apparent when we're willing to let go of the lie and to recognize that any form of hostility or fear means we're stuck in the lie.
Yeah, I'm really seeing that. Like it's the processing I'm doing right now, like just all and you referenced it, the replicate mind program and the carbon-based memories in there. It's almost, I don't even know how to describe it. The only way the way that I would know to put it into words, it's like the unfurling of a rose. The rose would be closed up and then you get awareness and then it just opens and then, it's all the layers that are covering up our essence. And then it just, it's unfurling layer by layer by layer by layer. So,
yes.
And by the way, I just looked up Romans 12:6. And
give it to us.
There's a whole bunch. I would concur. I only wrote 12:6 down, but it would be worth reading all the way to about 16, I think. Just looking, 16 or 17. But 12:6 says, and I have the New American Standard Bible, and it says, and since we have gifts that differ according to the grace given to us, let us each exercise them accordingly. If prophecy, according to the proportion of his faith. Yeah, so.
The power of community.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a whole, and then of course, 7-16 talks more in depth about that, just following God and following love. Let love be without hypocrisy. And abhor evil. Abhor what is evil, cling to what is good. So yeah, it's a perfect one. Obviously, that was important to be in the field.
Yeah, fits
Yeah,
perfectly.
Yeah.
and I was just every Monday morning I do a miracles meeting at 10 a.m. in Cleveland. And so we were just reading from the text on page 131 this morning, and it fits so perfectly with Ruka de Kucha. And I have been kind of waiting until I had this concept more integrated in my mind before I opened my mouth about it. But this morning was the time that I began to share about that. And what you just said, Michael, and you just endorsed Susan in the piece about from Romans, it all fits. It just all fits together so beautifully. And I'm with you in carving away the marble that is not the truth of me in order to reveal that which is. And it takes work, you know, especially what's shown up in the radar of my life experience is that my ex-husband has decided to move back to where I live. And he's got a very extremely wealthy girlfriend who likes buying mansions. And so he's just recently bought a mansion in this spot between my home and my work. So like I get to pass it every day, and I thought I'd done so much work on that past relationship, and it's been years. It's been 16 years. And so when I got the word from my daughter that he was moving to exactly like 4 miles from where I live, I took a deep breath, and I asked her how she felt about that, and to buy myself some time to figure out what in the world do I want to say. And I instantly in my head knew there's another layer of work for healing and clearing anything and everything unlike love that has ever been a result of that very difficult journey with him. And so here I am, you know, at the chopping away every day worksheets, every day, you know, breathing, softening, praying. It's one act in my world, just holding the knowing that the truth is within, and more is being revealed. And I don't know, I didn't plan to say any of that, but I figured I'd chime in when you said, does that resonate with anyone? Because certainly, yes, it does.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks.
Very powerful.
You both are like the highlight of my day. You both. I've only heard two voices, and I really was driving, so I didn't see. Oh, we got all kinds of people on here. Lovely. I love and grateful for all of you.
Yeah, my offering would be too that you're probably after all the years of work you've done around the issues that he gave you the gift of looking at, that you've spiraled up to a whole new level of vitality. So you're now vital enough to be able to deal with those energetic patterns in a new depth.
Yeah.
And so holding the space for whatever healing is I take it from the way you spoke, he is the father of your daughter.
Yes.
So you've got an eternal connection with him.
Indeed. Indeed, without a doubt.
Yeah, it might be good to stop Xing him out and maybe refer to him as your former, seeing as how he is now clearly in the energy field, and we'll be holding the space for whatever layers need to clear out, whatever he was able to show you when you were connected, and you were able to show him, that it comes to a whole new level of resolution, and especially for the sake of your daughter.
Thank you. That is all I wish. That is all I hold in my heart for the whole thing.
So what are you going to have to get to look at?
Well, first of all, my car is about 110 right now. So the first step is to step out of this very, very hot car.
Okay. My body was saying you need to take care of this.
Right.
And then what do I need to do? I'm going to be doing Dr. Tim has a beautiful worksheet called Saying Goodbye to Good People. And yes. I have been breathing, living, answering the many questions on that worksheet for the last few weeks. I'm continuing that. And I'm open to any other ideas and thoughts, anything, that I can add to that.
Sally,
Yes.
Michael mentioned it this morning, just about his friend that's in Peru doing a family constellation workshop. And sometimes when there's charges that are held between someone that have eternal contracts, like obviously he's the father of your daughter, and if you believe in past lives, we carry forward energetic patterning.
Yes.
And family constellation really is a beautiful way to help love flow through a family system where love hasn't been able to flow. And it's just to give it, people don't know, it's based on the work of Bert Hellinger, who worked a lot with the Zulu tribes. And he was a Catholic priest, and he found that when love didn't flow in a system, it got constricted. And then to give you just a Cole's Notes version, imagine there's people who would set a constellation. So let's say there was some anxiety or things going on for you with your former husband. So you may say, I want to set a constellation to bring love, active, conscious, and present. We're just going to use that. And then the facilitator, and usually when you do it in a group setting, you can do it one-on-one, but in a group setting, you imagine that there's a relational field being set up. And so there's chairs all around, and then you would set the constellation. So you would look around at the 18 people and you would pick someone to represent you. You had an energetic connection with, whatever you felt, you just follow the body. Then you'd place that person in the center. Then you would pick somebody to represent your husband. And then you would place them in orientation to where you thought it fit. You might have them facing out of the circle, and you might be in the center. You would determine, and then you let the constellation unfold from there. And the facilitator follows the energy, and then she calls people into the circle to resonate the energetic patterns. We're going to call it that because we know that in Michael's work. And then the people just are in their bodies, and it's because we're all one, so we can actually tap into the energetic patterning. And you can see often what happens when love doesn't flow. It could be a miscarriage, it could be war, it could be sexual abuse, alcoholism, whatever that is. And it actually they bring in, the ancestors that have a pure and open heart to help love flow through each generation of a system. It's uncanny. So if you're feeling stuck in that area, or you're feeling that movement isn't happening, and we can't intellectualize these things, when you have the experience of it, you really see the effect of how energy moves and how Rupa Dakucha works with us. So I just offer that.
Thank you. That sounds so great. I did a psychodrama years ago, and it was a very similar thing with the constellations you described and picking people in the room to represent different energetic presences, and then having a facilitator. Sorry, I'm walking among crowds of people at the moment. And it was so revealing. You're absolutely right about, I want the energy to flow for my daughter, for him, for me, in whatever way is healing and helpful for the journey ahead as we all three navigate whatever is next for us individually. And
And that's beautiful. And you know what? When we hold the intention like that, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So even Michael mentioning his friend in Peru at a family constellation workshop, you're talking here, and all of a sudden I know about constellation. This might be your next clue that God or the next teacher that shows up. And you don't have a concept because maybe the energy's locked in 5 lifetimes ago that you had with this character. We don't know any of that. But if we show up and holding the intention, what you're holding, profound, that you want to bring it to love. And so with that intention, just like I think Susan B talked about last week, she was talking about Helen Schuckman and the Course in
I love
Miracles
Helen.
when Tim that Bill, whoever his name was, that they said there must be a better way. Yeah, there must be a better way. And lo and behold, the Course in Miracles came through. So we don't know. God knows though. But so I just offer that.
Thank you. Offering taken. Thank you for your offering, Michael. Thank you for your offering, Susan. I feel the love. I feel the energy. You're right about being at this next level of vitality and really ready. Really ready. I'm so ready to bring it to love. So I keep doing my work.
Can I offer what might be a clue to an important piece of the puzzle at this point?
Yes, please.
So I noticed that your voice tone changed significantly. And when you spoke about wanting love to flow for you and your daughter and for him, she was not in the circle.
Who was not in the circle?
His significant other.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Your voice tones changed significantly when you spoke of her and the energy. There might be a worksheet or two to do in that arena. And as
on his significant other. Okay.
Yeah. And in terms of relationship with him, as the codependent workshop unfolds, I'd really be with and pay attention to the responsibility communication tool when it comes in. Okay. Because that will probably be a tool that will open a significant space. Owning, never is a relationship clash a one-sided affair, although each mind can absolutely prove that it's all their fault. It's a never one-sided affair, and when we can step into truth in regard to our own part, it's amazing how, and of all the tools, when we do the responsibility communication tool in a workshop, it's probably the most powerful of all. The forgiveness, the breath of all of it, at least it's one of the most powerful at bringing forth willingness in former clashes to come forward with and as the presence of love and support.
Sounds really yummy.
And we're holding the space.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so comforting when you realize there is a way.
Absolutely. So any other thoughts for you?
It. Yeah, I feel it. And in and throughout. When I'm doing a workshop or a worksheet on her, I haven't met her. So I can just do a worksheet on feelings, my feelings about their relationship. Is that what you were saying?
Perhaps an archetypal worksheet on, the other woman.
Okay. Yeah, that would be interesting because I've never even thought about it. Great.
If you listen to the replay of the show and just what your voice tones do when you bring in how she buys mansions and all of that.
Well,
there's a niggle in the energy there.
You're right. There is, and my mind is so funny. My mind went to, Well, yeah, my voice changed. I went from being about 110 degree overheating car to fresh air blowing in my hair
Ah,
and much cooler temperatures. But
yeah.
it was more than that. It wasn't
Yeah, I'm
just
talking
my
about a
body
different
getting
choice.
comfort.
I'm talking about a different change than that one. Yeah,
Yes.
there was a very distinct notice in your voice tones when you got out of the car. It was like relief, but
Yeah.
this was a different dynamic.
And that
Cool.
might also be a clue, Sally. Everything is symbology. So the
Yes.
fact that your nervous system went into excessive heat, that might be a clue of what Michael's touching on. And the outer world was
Ooh.
giving you a clue of that by having you being in a hot car that you had to escape from.
Oh, right. Surviving and suffering and then taking care of myself. Because it really, if I look at the whole marriage, like 16 years, that what I recall so much is struggling and working constantly, like on the external, working a 9 to 5 job, meeting a child, getting off the school bus, feeling like a single mom, which at times, many times I was. Yeah. And then the life I have now, which is so free and so full and so just awesome. It's just like the same. You nailed it, because yes, you're right. Paying attention to metaphorically what is showing up in every way. Thank you. You guys are great. Hugs
And
all
from your
around.
speaking, yeah, from your speaking about your time with him, have you done any work? It sounds like one of the core issues was abandonment.
Yes,
And have you
for
done any
sure.
worksheets around abandonment
Not enough.
with him? Okay.
Definitely not enough. So I'll work on that. Thank you, guys. I was
All right.
standing by this
Holding the space.
beautiful, I was standing by this really beautiful plant that I, I, I'm looking at this unfurling of these new baby leaves. I'll send somebody a picture of it. It's so beautiful. I'm just like savoring this plant
You could
beside
turn your
me.
camera on.
Oh, I could. Here, I'll show you. I didn't think of that. Okay, here we go. Camera on. Okay, that's me. I don't want me. Let's see.
Oh, wow.
Can you guys see it?
Yeah, sure can. Boy, that's green.
It's got Buddha behind it.
Another
Mm.
symbology, Sally, that you're unfurling to the truth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right
Yep.
before you, God showing you, look at that, sweetheart. You're
Anyway,
doing work.
yes, unfurling to the truth. Yeah, that's exactly the metaphor I was seeing when Susan said metaphors all around. And I found that I was hugging next to this plant. And then I really looked at the plant and I thought, oh my gosh, there's a metaphor in the plant. You got it. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Oof.
Sweet. Anyone else? Anything to share? Thoughts? I'm just copying a link, which I'm going to paste in the notes or the chat. And this was a link that Susan sent me. Susan B. yesterday. Thank you, Susan. And it's a video about how we literally, science is saying, we emit light. You go back to Yeshua, he says, I am the light of the world. And he says, you are the light of the world. And so, Susan, I appreciate you sending that, Susan B. And I watched it as we were actually coming up to Costco. Jeannie was talking about yesterday as we were driving. We made a stop. And I had just found and sent a link to someone for the quote, which we've used over and over and over again, and that I sent back to you after I watched it, Susan, from Rumi. And that is, love is the cure. Your pain, pardon me, will give birth to more pain until your eyes exhale love as effortlessly as your body yields its scent. Love is the cure. Your pain will give birth to more pain until your eyes exhale love as effortlessly as your body yields its scent. And for me, that is exactly what Yeshua was saying when they asked him, what's most important in the law? He says, have Rachma, have this gateway open so that light, so that being, so that love floods through your physiology and is extended out into the world. Rumi took it that extra step of that your eyes literally exhale love as effortlessly as your body yields its scent. And now science is telling us, by the way, you can do that. So when I went into Costco yesterday, I had just finished watching that, and I've used that quote from Rumi for years, and we've talked about, love exchange and such. I don't know why I hadn't come up with this as an exercise previously, but it's a powerful one should you choose to do it. And that is, from this minute forward, it kind of includes or brings in the idea of mindfulness. You have to be in a mindful state to do this. But from this minute forward, would you be willing to do the exercise of every person that your eyes light upon? You consciously, purposely exhale love through your eyes toward that person, including formers or present challenges. So imagine you look in the mirror, and mindfully, every time you look in the mirror, you exhale love toward your own image. You wake up in the morning beside someone, and you're mindful enough to exhale love through your eyes toward your partner, toward the mailman, toward the clerk in the store. And my experience yesterday was, it was kind of like a culmination of the whole week. The Hebrews, doing the Lord's Prayer, getting that inside of Ruka, Susan sending this, sending the Rumi. I went searching for the Rumi quote. I didn't have it right at hand. And all of that just juxtaposed. And as I walked through a very busy Costco yesterday, I would say probably 20 to 25% of the people that I walked past mindfully exhaling love in their direction through my eyes, probably 20 to 25% gave what at least I perceived of as a response. Well, now, it might have been my hallucination, but it seemed that a good number of those people actually, I don't know if they knew what they were responding to or what was going, but it seemed like there was a very distinct response. So I invite everybody to try it. And go ahead. Who's Sally?
Yeah, I had in my Miracles group today, one gal comes and brings her autistic son, and he can be a distraction. We're reading from the book and discussing, and he will have all kinds of his own world going on. And
right.
So today I decided to look with the eyes of love and just, gaze with love eyes. And he jumped up from the other side of the table, came over, and held his arms wide like he wanted to give me a hug. And I nodded, yes, that would be wonderful. He gave me this massive squeeze. And I never said a word. He responded absolutely. I'll never forget that hug.
That's awesome.
It just fit with what you were
What
saying.
a gift. Nice work. Yeah.
Next time I go to Costco, I will definitely be sure to go with the eyes of love.
Or the gas station, or the restaurant, or
yeah,
or let's not reserve it to Costco. Any
no.
person that your eyes roll across any time of day or night,
Yeah, I
including
don't
yourself.
reserve. I don't see anything as separate. Like it's quite
Cool.
fun.
Yeah.
Quite fun.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks.
So, Miss Susan B., thank you for that video yesterday. It was so timely for me. Much appreciated. And I wonder if you have any thoughts to share with us, how that video impacted you. The link is in the chat if you want to copy it and go look at it. It's a physicist talking about how we literally source light. Are you with us, Susan Bingham?
I am. Yep.
Oh, good. Well, you have any thoughts for us?
I was thinking, I was at Costco this morning. So Monday is my Costco day.
Right.
And it happens a lot in there. There is such, I'm sure it's true. I mean, when I go for a walk through, there's a college right near us. And so there are tons of faculty and administrators and young people walking through all the time. And there have been programs overlapping. And that's another place that can happen. When there's no awareness of a history, no matching bags of garbage, no awareness of anybody's garbage, it seems as if the default is that business of finding how shiny people are.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Costco was that way too. And so I've been thinking about what is it about people that we think we know, and how much harder it sometimes is to shine that light. I need to remind myself. It's easy we just had a family reunion, and I haven't posted the picture that I got. There were about 30 of us there. And it's a fantastic family, and it was wonderful connecting. I've mentioned this before. So that's true too. I'm just aware of my own shadow these days, wanting
That's
to
a good
make
thing.
sure. What?
That's a good thing.
I
That's
guess
the
so.
only way that we get to work through it. And the only reason why people we think we know, it's more difficult to bring forward that presence of love is because their presence resonates what we have hooked into our brain's image of them.
Mm-hmm. Or just, even if nobody's around, I guess it's partly the climate in the country and so forth. I mean, I'm already in trouble because I'm blaming something outside myself, but I think this is the resonator. So it's good to keep on the good side of things.
It's an amazing process to just keep unfolding, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm in deep appreciation of this community for everything that it brings and everyone that joins. The process is amazing.
I've been thinking about the aging process because there are so many obvious diminishments that we expect if we're not experiencing them.
Right.
But there are so many permissions and loosenings of old, just the idea
Yay. And my invitation would be that every time you become aware of a thought, an expectation of, well, at this age, this is supposed to start to fail. This is supposed to, that being on guard, being aware that you instantly go into forgiveness and correct that thought, replace that with the energy of competence, of security, of safety. I've interacted with some older folks, and one of the common comments that they often make is, oh, well, my balance isn't so good and I'm afraid I'm going to fall. It's like, so instead of cooperating with that thought, how about every time you think of your balance, it's like how perfect it is and how one foot is always in exactly the right place to balance with the other, and, really create conscious replacements for all of those insane dynamics that we've been brainwashed with culturally. Right down to, people will say to the parent of a child that's been on the planet for 4 months, how old is your child? I mean, it's built right into the language. And so refusing that and correcting that, I think, is a good exercise in mindfulness and changing the energy patterns that if we hold them, physiology will follow them. That's one of the things physiology is designed to do, is to follow thought. So if the thought is, well, this fails, this does this, then you're right, it's going to happen. And to bring correction and recognizing that those dynamics have been going on for how many generations, it may mean sometimes correcting them, 10 times in a minute, because they're so deeply embedded by the culture. So joining you in being conscious of any of that and letting it go so that you will be at the party on December 31st.
Yep. I keep
44,
that date in mind.
44. Yeah. 45. Everybody, you're invited.
No,
New Year's
it
Eve
used
at
to be
Heartland.
49.
49,
Michael.
pardon me, you're right, 49. You're right, thank you.
You've taken some years off.
Thank you for catching me on that. So everybody, please put that on your calendar. December 31st, 4949. 264. County Road 638, Theodosia, Missouri, 65761. Put that on your calendar. 4949. Make sure to be at the party. So any other thoughts for you, young lady?
No.
Anything else exciting happening in your world?
Well, yes and no, but I'll pass.
Okay, cool. Well, it's nice to touch in. And again, thank you for that video. It was really very enjoyable.
Yeah,
and
I'm
it was
glad
just at the right time.
Good. Great.
Yeah. Cool. Exhaling love through my eyes in your direction.
Thanks.
All right. Blessings. Well, we've got lots of folks here. What does that resonate for you all?
I was just going to throw in when she was talking about an autistic child. One of the friends that we got to meet with a couple of times while we were in Florida, they have 2 adopted children, and one of them is autistic. And he was showing me pictures, and he showed me one. He was like, I don't know, maybe not even a year old, and he's propped up against some pumpkins. And he says, this is one of my favorite memories. And I said, oh, how come? And he said, because I had my real mommy and daddy then. And, whether they see things differently and experience things differently. And so whether it's really a memory that he has, but we had taken a pumpkin with us out of our garden and we didn't use it. So we sent it with Michael J. and Jamie to take to him. They were going to get with him before they caught their flight. But when we got ready to leave, I asked him, I said, can I have a hug? Because sometimes they don't want to be touched and other times they do. And he came over and he did the same thing. He wrapped his arms around me and squeezed till, I could hardly breathe. He was squeezing so hard. And but he was just a precious child and to be around. Both of them were. But yeah, that squeeze is definitely a memory. I resonate with that, Sally.
So holding the space for all of the neurodivergent children, adults on the planet, to that, especially those that have been outcast culturally, for the awakening of the ability to literally exhale love through our eyes toward, especially if engaging in that mindful exercise, your eyes happen to run across someone you have judgments about, because of the way they look or the way they dress or their, whatever. I noticed for myself yesterday as I was doing that exercise in Costco, and there were, we probably walked past a couple hundred people in the time I was in the store, that when my eyes would fall upon someone, moving the gaze from one person to another, I would notice that perhaps something they were wearing aroused some sort of resistance in me, something that I obviously needed to forgive. And so it was also a sweet opportunity to just notice the subtle thoughts that I've accepted in my mind that don't really support the presence of being on the earth. And so it also creates a really, what for me at least was a sweet opportunity to go, oh, there's a goal. I'm going to let go of that one and open a deeper space and open a deeper space. So we've got about 12 minutes left. And I've covered the thoughts I've got for today. Who else has got a question, an answer, an idea? I see Tim is with us, Tim Hayes, and you got an honorable mention a little while ago, Tim. Glad you're here. And we haven't heard from Joe. Now, I know that Joe, always requires a special introduction. So everybody knows that he's here and kind of, I don't know, Joe, what is it, the word you use when you tell me how I'm supposed to introduce you?
I would like.
Oh, yeah, the star, right? The star of the show. Yeah. Okay, good.
Top
Welcome.
billing.
Top billing. That's it. Yeah, top billing.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So how do you be? What's exciting in your world?
I would say for me, it's so helpful. Union. And what I mean union is to engage
Cutting in and out.
myself. Oh, I'm in the car, going 75 miles
Okay,
an hour.
you're a
down
little
Route
clear.
85, so. Okay.
Go for it. You're a little clearer.
Just the communion is both within and without. To be aware of my communion with myself, and to be aware of you had put it really well once, and that was spiritual deviation. Now, all of these different exercises that we can do are certainly helpful, and there's no if it helped me, then certainly I'm going to offer it as a help to someone else. If it didn't help me, then I'm not. But I encourage all that type of work. But it comes to that. I remember years ago when I first met you, it was be careful of what comes after but. And in this case, it's interesting to always be cultivating the communion with myself, and that's hard to do because I get a little locked into, oh well, I need to have some kind of guru, or I need to put somebody up on a pedestal and worship them or worship it or something. That aspect. So that just would be my offering today. Did I lose you?
Well, I like how someone at one point spelled out guru, G-U-R-U, pointing out that the only guru is inside of us. And hopefully we can, as a community, help to funnel each other in the direction of that ultimately so deeply superior guidance that no human could ever go there except within themselves.
For me, it truly is the sense of welcome yourself, Joe, first, because there is where it wants to be in relationship with me so much so, and I'm the one that puts the blocks in place. For me, the word is communion. And to commune with those in that silence and or in that walking through Costco as I breathe. It's interesting. As Rumi puts it, it's the breath leaving your eyes. So it's this energy, as we typically, it's your breath exhaling from your lungs in this case. It's the metaphor of passing from your eyes to someone else. The holy encounter.
Good way to put it.
I appreciate it, brother. Yep.
All right. Appreciate you. Safe travels.
Peace.
So just in the last minute or two, I'm just going to invite everybody to close your eyes and tune into, on the deepest level possible, that presence of love, and recognize that it is out of that presence of love that the only sane possibility of perception, the only sane conversation can come. And when we separate from that, and of course, the non-being mind has always got somebody to blame. It's always your fault that I'm doing this. So giving up the membership card to the one world universal religion of blame, fault, guilt, shame, and suffering, which is self-imposed, and it's being imposed on self when you language it as though it's about somebody else's. It's the same thing. There's no difference. And so just this gathering to me, when I realized the words, the kingdom of heaven, and as Yeshua spoke those words, was speaking of the community of love, then I really appreciate the presence of being and coming forward as love that each person in this community is doing for each other and with ourselves. It's an awesome gift. So thank you for joining us, and please create the best year yet of your eternal life. It's an awesome gift to give the world. Blessings. Bye-bye.